Hi everybody. Today we will talk about how to define some function in ObjectiveC, and we can call this using promise or async await. So from the previous lesson, we have a function like here, and this function will return to a callback function. And now we improve by using a promise. The promise function is a function which is to separate the successful and the fail function to resolve and reject. So here the remap method means that we will define some function inside this. Get some task is function name, and the param here is a parameter like a string and a dictionary, etc. And we have the resolver. Resolver is a callback from success, and the reject is a fail callback. So we can use this function to return when we have the result. So firstly, we define the return value. So the return value here is a task array. The task array has some object like name, finish date, with for example, buy a new house and learn promise in JavaScript. Okay, so we have several objects inside the result, and we will check for the input parameter. So if the input parameter is equal to all, then it is success. Otherwise it is false. Yes, there are many ways to do this. So here is a very convenient way to show you which case is success and which case is false. And in success we call the resolver, and the resolver have the result as task, and otherwise we have the fail. The fail has three input parameters. The first is code, the second is message, and the third is NS arrow object. So we will use it as an input parameter for the reject. And we have the NS arrow, for example, the main internal arrow with code. Code is an integer like 500, like 300, okay, etc. And the use info is NS dictionary, and the dictionary we use a localized description key. It is a key when you want to show in different language. For example, Vietnamese, English, etc. So after this line, we call the reject callback function by calling reject. The reject function has an input parameter. We have three parameters: code, message, and arrow. Yes. So we transmit three input parameter like here, and the result and reject. Remember to that in promise we have result and reject. In JavaScript or in React Native we use the promise. By calling the promise, the component that here is a asynchronous function, means that this function is called parallel with the other function. And I call this by calling the function name. The function name gets some tasks, and the input here is all for success. So I use all, but then means that the input parameter of then function is a callback or a resolver. Yes, so then here is resolver. It means that when the result is success, it will be put in then. Yes, it will be put in then. Otherwise it is put in catch. And the catch function here has an arrow function with arrow. So the arrow here will display the arrow object. zero object detail like this. So we can display to the alert by calling this stringify task. Task here is a result in here. Okay, so we comment out some previous code for easier to debug and see the result for testing. Yes. So after running the program, yes, you see that the alert. The alert here is the value of get some task array. The get some task array, the task array here is an object, a list of object, and we can change a little bit the change to other. So in the case the input here, other, it will be called the function in arrow. So it is too long, it is so complicated, it is too long and complicated, and so how to make it simple? We can make it more simply by adding by showing the key, all of the key or the property of arrow object, and we also only display necessary key. Yes, so we have a code, you have user info. It is my necessary things, because we only need the code, we need the message, we need the user info object. Okay, so we can only display some of this by calling arrow.code and the arrow user info. So here we have the arrow code is 500, and the user info here is something wrong with task. Okay, it is my display or the inside the NS arrow. So another way we can use in ECML script 7 is using async and await. Async means that a function can be called with concurrently with another function, and await means that this code line must be finished before going to the next line. Okay, so await means that wait this line to be finished, then come to the next line. Yes, so it is called by sequence, step by step. Okay, so we display and copy the the code line from promise to here. It is very convenient because all the arrow is put to get block, otherwise it is in try. Okay, so you can see in the successful we set a get some task all, otherwise we change to other. We can see the arrow here is 500 and the user info. Okay, so let me put on. Okay, so it is very convenient to use async await in this case, especially when you have multiple functions, but every function must be in await must be put in an asynchronous function. Okay, so it is the end of my lesson today about how to call ObjectiveC function using promise and async await function in React Native. Thank you very much for watching.